Okay, so today's review is of Lee's Hill Golf Course in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Lee's Hill is in a neighborhood called Lee's Hill, and that is just off Route 17, just south of Fredericksburg, Virginia. You have to go basically to AP Hill and take 17 from there. So it is about 2 hours drive down 95 from DC or down 301 and then east on 17 to go all across from Dahlgren and then carry on down to 17 or Route 3 and come into Fredericksburg. So it is a course that feels like a golf course for a start. It's got a good ambiance as far as a golf course goes. You definitely aren't going to get on this course and feel like it's a cheap, rundown, cheesy kind of course. The clubhouse is in good condition. They have a nice bar there, nice kitchen there, nice dining area. It's kind of casual dining for an upscale course. This course does require you to wear shorts or slacks and a collared shirt. The only thing I really am surprised about is that they didn't have a shower in this place. It was just a bathroom, a sink, and a couple of toilets. I mean, it was really kind of depressing in that sense. Maybe they have one somewhere else in the building, but I didn't see one for the public. Maybe it's for members. But so anyway, the course, decent pro shop, that kind of thing. I'm just surprised when I go see a golf course that has a decent clubhouse, but it doesn't have any shower. Because I think that is, you walk off a course, you're hot and sweaty and smelly and full of bugs or whatever. Having a shower there is a big difference in a golf course. I mean, otherwise you got to do what? Change in a parking lot or something, and it's just very nice to have a shower. And I think that's the one strike I would give this course for a clubhouse that has a good look to it, but doesn't have a shower. So they have a small deck out back. You can sit out back and watch people playing on the 18th green, which is kind of nice. It's definitely a decent place to play golf. There's no shame in the game here. You can bring your friends or your family or your coworkers or somebody out here to play this course, and definitely you'll feel like you're on a golf course. You're doing if not a country club, it's certainly a decent golf course. The problem is, I think that this course still falls flat in a couple of ways. And one of the ways it falls flat is that it is flat. It is flat as a board. I can't think of one hole on this course that has more than 6 feet of a rise. Maybe 10 at the most. I mean, I think that's exaggerating. Maybe 10 feet of a rise from tee to green, or no real valleys or anything that you're playing over on this course. It's just about as flat as you can get, and for that reason, I think it really kind of falls into the lower half of difficulty and interestingness in terms of a course. While they have kind of kept the fairways reasonably wide, not too wide, not too tight. So you do have to hit a reasonably decent shot, especially if you're hitting long irons and driving to stay in play. It's not so tight that you really can't, or shouldn't. Some of the tee shots are definitely a little tight because the trees have grown up into the middle of the fairways in front of the tee boxes. So there is a kind of a shoot effect on some of the holes, but overall it's not too bad. I can only think of one hole that's really, well, maybe two, the holes that are where it's so narrow that you'd really have to, kind of be extra careful to get in play there. But it's not so tight that it's impossible or almost impossible, or really, and 9 out of 10 times you wouldn't make it. And it's not so wide that beyond the chutes that, you know, you can get out there and just spin and hook and slice balls and not run into any trouble. It's not tight in the fairways, even on the tightest fairways, but it's not super wide either. I think it strikes a decent balance in that regard in terms of width versus length of the holes. So +1 for a reasonable balance between the width and length, -1 for not having any verticality, to speak of at all. It does have some good water shots. There are some, greens bordering a lake and things like that, which are a decent challenge. It has some waste. There's certainly waste in play on the sides, and on a few holes, you're having to carry waste or carry a lake or a pond or something. So I think it has sort of just under a good balance of carries. If you like carries, it has some carries. If you don't like carries, unfortunately, you will have to hit a few carries. A couple of par threes have carries, and certainly there's a lake on one of the par threes. So most of the par threes involve some kind of carry. And if you play from the back tees, the lake is a carry on one of the holes on the back side at least. Certainly, you have a crescent left, number 18, which you have to either carry or cover one way or the other. So that's a decent challenge there. And I think in terms of difficulty, the course has a 135 slope or something, and it's 6,800 yards. So it's not a pushover. It's not something you're just going to go out and walk around and beat it up. You have to be fairly decent to play this course fairly well. But I think, having said that, if you are fairly decent, I think this course is a bit of a pushover. It's a little bit easy for a decent golfer. I don't think it plays up to a 135. Honestly, I think it's more like a 120, 125. It just doesn't. It doesn't have the verticality it really needs to pull off a 135. And while I think that the approach shots in some cases are certainly a challenge, even those I don't think really pull it up to a 135. I think if it makes 135, it just barely makes it. And I don't think a good player would have much trouble with this course at all. Even a fairly decent player would have any trouble with this course at all. So considering that, and considering that in some of the holes, there's some splotches and so forth, and considering that the grass overall in this course is really kind of crabgrassy, that they let grow long, and the fairways are crabgrass that's short, I think it's a course that charges a fair lot of money, and it looks like a country club course should look, but it plays like a kind of good municipal course, okay? I don't think it quite plays up to its looks, but it looks fairly decent as long as you don't look too closely at it. That's Lee's Hill in Fredericksburg, Virginia.